Welcome to the Gnome Show, ladies and gentlemen. How you doing this weekend? Welcome, one and all. I'm Josh. This is the Gnome Show. And I would guess, I wouldn't say this begins my broadcast weekend. I'll probably be streaming again tomorrow and probably on Sunday. And then I rest for the week. Well, I go to work. In my eternal struggle to get a normal night's sleep. It's not like I don't get sleep, it's just that I invariably end up going to bed around 2 a.m. I'm waking up at 9:30. Time to be ready for work. And it's enough, that's fine, but I always strive to be in the bed earlier, but I am and always will be a night owl. Since I was very little, always a night owl. I remember staying up for the first time all night, into the morning. It's pretty good. The cartoons are pretty cool. Because it was a Friday night into a Saturday morning, so of course I didn't have to do anything. Sundays, nothing's on until noon. From Monday through Saturday, those cartoons were oh so sweet. I hope your week's been profitable, productive, if anything, peaceful. That's what we all strive for. My favorite song. I've got a couple pieces for you tonight. Nothing extravagant. We'll be waiting until tomorrow night or Sunday for that kind of thing. But I did notice that many of you liked the commentary, or not necessarily my commentary, but you liked the video that I put out about the skinwalkers and the the perspectives from an indigenous perspective, basically. Hold on. I can explain this better. It's been a long day. So you guys really, really liked Truth of the Skinwalkers, Stories from the Navajo Nation. I did too. And I also, if you haven't noticed, I like doing some stuff about aliens and having sometimes it's a hard word to say, having an indigenous perspective on issues is not only useful because you can correlate that to other data gathering from other parts of the world at the same time, whether it's through story or some other means of communication, but also you get to see and understand how other cultures perceive such things in the heavens. It's really fascinating. So tonight, at the end, we're gonna dive into that. But first, and I know I'm a tiny bit late, but work. We're gonna look at the official trailer for the Fallout TV series. I have seen this because I watched it because it came up on my phone, and I was like, oh shit. But following the trailer, we're gonna check out Juicehead's analysis on the trailer, because he's got a lot of good things to say about it, and I like his stuff. I always have. I found him a long time ago, and I've been a subscriber for a while. He's good stuff. So we'll be looking at that, and then afterwards I will jump into New Vegas, because I've been neglecting it because I was playing Pacific Drive, which I'll get back to. But sometimes you need to clear your palate. You know what I'm saying? And I miss the shifting sands of the Mojave Desert. Long live the Wasteland. And we also have a pupper to get a new brain for. And we have a companion who has a quest, a companion quest that needs attending to. So finding those locations, marking them, and then completing the quests is something that we'll have to attend to. How you doing, new viewer? Nice to see you. Fallout, and then we're going to talk about an indigenous, there we go, perspective on aliens. So stay tuned. We're going to be getting ready or underway here real soon. Make sure you have something to drink, something to eat, something to smoke on. I've got some vapes and dabs. So I'm and to one of my customers, thank you so much for the magic brownie. I'm going to be eating that sometime during the show, or at least a piece of it. He told me, he said, bro, just eat a corner and start there. Oh, so it's like that. So apparently these guys are made with they're made with wax, not just with flour and all that stuff. Like they're made from the wax. Oh shit. I think this is probably the equivalent to like hash brownies or something like that. So I will be following his recommendation and only eating a corner first. Edibles work on me fairly fast, so I don't need to push my luck to get a decent effect. I feel like today was I guess today was kind of a watershed moment for my job, because we had, as a crew, we had to come together and make some things happen in addition to making a daily goal. And the boss man was satisfied. And that's cool. So when you're young, really it is about finding a job, figuring out what kind of career you have, because so here's the thing, especially for you young folks out there, it's not that we want you to pick a career or that we want you to find out what you want to be, but it does really help if you have an idea of what your strengths are at a young age, and to be able to gauge where you want to go in life. But that doesn't always happen. Although I knew at a very young age that I was going to be a salesman. That was just going to be a thing. I used to do the fundraiser things for school. And later on, other things on the school bus, comic books, candy, things like that. And then things later down the line, like finding out that I have a taste for small retail and customer service. And I excel at both of those things, not just I'm good at them, but I enjoy them. Sometimes I'm a bit ornery. That's something that, I've got many rough edges. Those who love me definitely know that. But I'm very keen on customer service. This is our livelihood. It's not just a job. I prefer small retail because the sales and the interactions are so much more meaningful. And it's not to say that you can't get meaningful interactions with your customers in big retail. Like, absolutely you can. In fact, I'm sure you have your favorite customers and your favorite types of customers, and your favorite things to sell, your favorite, like, maybe section to work in, or, like, if you're gonna have to be at work, I'd rather fucking be stocking this part of the store or this particular product, or if I'm going to do anything, it's going to be something that I enjoy being around, which comes back to me being the luckiest fuck in the universe, or one of them. A lot of times it's real bumpy for me, but I try to keep my karma hunt as clean as possible. Doesn't work all the time. I'm not perfect, but landing where I did, being friends with Mr. Doss, and going through some of the things that we've been through in the last year, and landing where I did. It's where I was supposed to be. So, maybe where you work early on might be where you want to be, sometimes not. Sometimes you need to find out what you are happy doing, not necessarily what's going to make you the most money, because you can always, if you're happy doing something, you don't mind making money doing it. There's lots of cases to point at, but if you are a successful YouTuber, or actor, or doctor, or athlete, if you find, you want to naturally gravitate towards that. If you're smart and you're lucky, you get to do that when you're young. If you're smart and you're luckier, you can parlay into that later down the road and find yourself in a unique situation where your niche retailer experience, or your niche engineering experience, or art experience, or any of those things, or all of those things come together to make you a desirable hire. Because and this is why employers will ask you about your other hobbies, what other things you're interested in. Because a lot of the things that you can do in the business world, just like in your hobbies, can cross and produce valuable results for, if your company or your people you work for are smart, them. If you're smart, you and the company you work for. Because you also, not just your time and your labor, but your expertise is what you bring to the table. Your wealth of wisdom from where you've come from and where you've been, that culminates in what you can do where you are now. That's it. This is why companies value experience. More so than college degrees. Not as much, but generally more so. Because you need the knowledge. You need the schooling. But having the wisdom to be able to apply what you've learned, ooh, that's so much more valuable. Because a smart ass that knows his book shit but doesn't know how to act in the environment he wishes to be in is invaluable to anybody. You know, having workforce etiquette, manners, like the ability to navigate tough situations. And it's funny, when I was in school, I always wondered why like they would teach you all of the let's you would look at a math book, because it's an easy one. I hate math. But they would give you all these basic ass fucking examples, and like they would be super easy, but then they would go, like, when it was time to test, everything would be written out. Like, there weren't numbers, there was like a whole paragraph, and and you were like, so solve this problem, and you're like, no, there was nothing in the chapter that said anything about what you're asking me right now. Like, what the fuck? My brain hurts. Why am I on a train, and why do I have 36 watermelons? Oh my god. And why am I going to Sandusky? So, like, that's the thing, like, like having the wisdom and the knowledge to apply what you learn to a difficult situation is very valuable, and is why they ask for double the experience of what you have in schooling. They want you, like, they're usually looking for people that not only are in school but are in the field already that they wanted to be in. They expect you to be like, oh, so you are interested in being in this field, so you've already tried to get a job in this field, or you're in a place that does what you want to do, so you can work your way into that, I guess. And then there's my job. I've been in, before I worked for Mr. Will, I worked at a tobacco shop called Tobacco Home. And I try not to be petty, so if you look in my shorts, you can find my time at that place. But I was there for almost 5 years, and he did some real cruddy shit, but the amount of experience and wisdom and industry knowledge that I gained from working for that person is invaluable, and it informed everything that I did following being released from his employment. It's important to be happy. And if you can parlay being happy into making money, there's a secret for success. So, don't shy away from the shit jobs or the weird jobs or the quirky jobs or any job, really. Jobs. Because you're going to have them. They're never, your need to make money to have a roof over your head is probably never going to go away. So find something you love to do, and ever the rest will follow, I guess. And I'm fortunate to find a place where I feel real happy right now. There's mutual respect between the boss and the employee, and working hard for the we're united in our vision for what we're trying to do with the shop, and it's very refreshing. Excuse me. Shout out Miss Ashante. How you doing? I hope you're feeling okay. It was really nice to see you today. Shout out to Mr. Doss. I hope you slayed it at the end of the night. Shout out to Mr. Will. Thank you, good sir. Shout out to the Rat Pack crew that always support the mountain. We got you, brothers. Mr. Edgar, get your goddamn ID. Edgar, how's Simba? Alright. Grab your dabs if you got them. We're going to do this and then we'll start. Just had some grumblings well, not grumblings, but, I guess I wanted to say something. Oh, that's good. Forgot I had this. All right. Yeah, y'all really like the Skinwalkers video. I'm pleased. I'm trying to branch out. Like there's a lot of things I like, and you know, sometimes I do like to cleanse my palate with other things. So let's go consume other things. But I also I like to learn things. So if I can do both, if I can be entertained and educated, it's a win-win. Sorry about that. Alright. Y'all are ready? Damn. That was a big hit. Y'all ready, ladies and gentlemen? Okay. All right. Yeah. All right. So you guys know the drill. For the YouTube people, hi YouTube people. You are my people. Let's begin. Welcome back to the Gnome Show, everyone. I am Joshua, your humble host, and it is my duty, nay, my pleasure, to trawl the briny depths of YouTube so that I may bring you the shinies. I cover short films of varying genres, video games, analog horror, and sci-fi, and really anything else that I think is groovy. I hope you all enjoy tonight's offerings. Content for the Blood God. On with the show. I told you it's been a long day. Tonight we have Fallout, the official trailer for the series, and it looks amazing. I've seen it a couple of times, but I wanted to share it with you, and I also wanted to share an analysis done by Juicehead of the trailer. I've been a fan of Juicehead for a long time, so I like his work, and if you're watching this, you're a Fallout fan too. So let's me, you, and I guess later on, Juicehead, enjoy some Fallout. Let's do this. Here's the trailer. Oh. Maybe if you could see, that would be a good thing, right? Yes. Here we go. Oh, what's going on? Oh, sorry. What? What's going on with my sound? Let's see. What the fuck? It's literally just... That works? What's going on with... I can't. The fuck? I'm having technical difficulties, I assume. Maybe... Hold on. Why am I not getting sound? Is that the reason why? Is there something else playing in the background? No. What the fuck? Like, literally, I can hear the... This is weird. What the heck? Alright, so that definitely fucking works. Yeah, that works. Why does the... Alright, so let's go into the sounds. Mixer. Ah. There it is. It was muted for some fucking reason.
Sociologist.
Ha 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 ha. All right. Okay, so we're just gonna try this again. All right. You know what? Yeah. Let's just let's try this again. New recording. That was embarrassing. All right. Bear with me, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Gnome Show, everyone. I am Josh, your humble host, and it is my duty to trawl the briny depths of YouTube so that I may bring you the shinies. I cover short films of varying genres, video games, analog horror and sci-fi, and anything else that is groovy. I hope you'll enjoy tonight's offerings. Content for the Blood God. On with the show. Tonight we have Fallout's official trailer for the series that's coming to Prime. Let's go ahead and check this one out. Had a little bit of technical difficulties in the last try for this recording, so enjoy, everyone. This is the Gnome Show.
Hello there. I'm here to show you a wonderful place.
So right off the bat, and because this is a Fallout analysis, not only mine, but we're going to listen to Juicebox in a little while. Right off the bat, it's Walter Goggins, and that's always cool. And it's him in another form other than the ghoul that we see in like the shots beforehand.
A veritable Camelot of the nuclear age. Not made by God Almighty, but the working man.
So he's a spokesman for Vault-Tec, and that reminds me of the Fallout 4 spokesman for Vault-Tec, the one that greets you at the door at the beginning of the game and wants you to buy the vault, and it gets turned away. It's just nice.
You can be a hero by purchasing a residence in a Vault-Tec vault today. Because if the worst should happen tomorrow, the world is going to need you to build a better day after.
So apparently that's Santa Monica up here, and the Shady Sands Public Library, and that doesn't look good. So definitely looks like a crater of some sort, and you can hear the radiation going off in the background.
The mission of the vault should be important to everyone.
33.
To come up to the
Didn't she remind you of Amaya from Fallout 3?
surface one day and restart civilization.
Armada.
Can you tell me what's happened in the last 200 years?
And there was also a stim pack
You're
there.
an actual vault dweller.
I am.
I thought all you dipshits were dead.
Damn. Like, they don't give you any motherfucking credit. Wow, most of you really must have gotten brutalized, which, they did.
What you're doing is insane.
I don't set the world.
It isn't like the vault out there. It's big.
Higher. I just want to start.
Hell yeah.
I've had a rough week.
Prosthetics are fucking really good. Prosthetics were also really good in Nuka Break. There's new stuff is coming. Prepare.
Practically every person I've met up here has tried to kill me.
I'm simply going to harvest your organs.
Oh.
You need to go.
So, we have run into a fair number of absolutely motherfucking sane Mr. Handies over the course of the games. Fallout 3, Fallout New Vegas, Fallout 4, Fallout 76. Yeah, all over the place. Yeah. That's a common occurrence. Yeah, they do that.
You come from a world of rules, of laws. You should not be alone.
Fuck yeah.
Why did you join the Brotherhood?
At least it's lore accurate, according to the game. The start of a career in the Brotherhood.
To hurt the people who hurt me?
Really nice.
I'm going to come after you.
Ain't much stage cleanup here, Volty.
Damn. That motherfucking, like,
Well, now
baseball.
that is a very small drop in a very, very large bucket of drugs.
And so the cowboy reminds me of Hancock. So I guess it's a mixture of like cowboy and salesman and actor, like a very much like a ghoulish stand-in for Ronald Reagan in his younger years.
Look out at this wasteland. Looks like chaos, but there's always somebody behind the wheel.
And that was when he was human, I guess, before the war. He looks like he was an actor and a spokesman for Voltec. This is gonna be good. It looks really good. Look at that motherfucking power armor, man, and look at that monster and dog meat.
What is happening here?
Oh, what is that? Oh, and he loves his.
Everyone wants to save the
jutsus.
world. They just
That's a big ass fucking crater.
they disagree on how.
Anybody get the impression that they remind me of another armored destroyer of all squishy things.
There you are.
Yeah, she looks like
You
she's
little killer.
ready. She's gotten some battle experience. Hell fucking yeah. I'm super, super, super excited. I will be talking about each and every episode after I watch them. So it's going to be, yeah. This is going to be awesome. I can't wait. Come on, April. All right, so let's go. And because things went quickly, and there are people like I'm fairly intimately familiar with most of the lore from Fallout. I have not played fully Fallout 1 and 2. I was as deep as I was into video games at that time. I was not really into isometric games, especially turn-based ones, because of early experiences in gaming for me. I had to go back and play other games to get. I will eventually. But as for the lore, I'm fairly familiar. But there are other people that are more familiar and do this as a living, lore masters and the such. And Juicehead is one of them. I really like his stuff. And we're going to check out a breakdown, especially for any of you guys who aren't as familiar with Fallout or saw the trailer and didn't quite see as much as you wanted, or you're just here for the nerd love of the stuff of things. So sit back, relax, and we'll see what Mr. Mr. Juicehead has to say about the trailer. I know he's as excited as I am to see this. Like we're hoping, so hoping that it doesn't fumble. Please, Lord, let it not fumble. Let's do this.
Hello there. I'm here to show you a wonderful place.
The new trailer for the Fallout TV show opens up
and
with
that's
Cooper
Fallout
Howard,
4,
aka
or,
the Ghoul,
Vault 4.
standing in front of Vault 4. This character is played by Walton Goggins, and to a certain degree it almost feels like the Ghoul and Cooper Howard are two separate characters. The Ghoul is one of the main protagonists of this show, but it's now been several hundred years since he was in his human form as Cooper Howard. But we do know that he was an actor in westerns and even a Vault-Tec spokesperson. Here we are seemingly seeing one of his presentations in front of the never-before-seen Vault 4. This was first introduced by this trailer, and it seems pretty likely that this will be a demo vault used to get people to sign up. A bit later into the trailer, we get to see one of his ads he created for Vault-Tec playing on an old-timey TV, seemingly inside of a vault somewhere. We then have a scene of a bunch of vault dwellers setting up for some kind of ceremony. This shot's really interesting and maybe a bit of an insight into what's going on with this particular vault. We have this projection of farmland in the background, with the camera reading telesonic magic of 3D. So they're effectively simulating that outside world feel from inside the vault, which perhaps is one of the experiments going on in Vault 33. And one of the biggest standouts from some of these vault shots is just how insanely accurate this is. If you played a Fallout game recently, you probably recognize that, but if you actually jump back into Fallout 4 right now, you'll realize that no, this is like point for point perfect. So many of even the minor details are spot on to Fallout 4, even down to the side
Uh-oh, this brownie's pretty strong. I'm glad I only hit a corner.
support pieces looking pretty much
Yeah, I did notice that this, like, it's very, and I love how, you see how the light hits the floor and everything, like, you notice how, like here, like it's there on the walls, but it doesn't, like, it doesn't hit like it would down a hallway like this. And how it hits, like this is what people really want, and this is what melts machines. But they've really done their justice on recreating the whole vault aesthetic, and I really like the mailboxes that they have here. Like they're the ones you see out in front of houses, in the Wasteland. In old neighborhoods and stuff. That's really cool.
Identical to what we have in game, including the accurate triangle bolts. All throughout this trailer, you'll notice a clear passion from those that are creating these sets and props for the show. We then cut to a closer
look at the vault out, man. I want one of those. Yeah, I would very much like a vault suit. Yeah, Vault 33 vault suit would be very nice.
Look at the ceremony setup, and one of the interesting parts is all of these crops are really here. It seems like...
And that's also... That's the dude from Twin Peaks. And some other things from my television childhood. So it's very pleasing to see him in this show. And what's the word I'm looking for? It's glad tidings for the show that he is in the show. He's a good actor.
This may genuinely be the Vault Dweller's food supplies, and this guy waving is the Vault 33 Overseer and also Lucy's dad. Lucy is the other main protagonist of the Fallout TV show played by Ella Purnell, and everyone here seems surprisingly happy. Like I mentioned before, lots of vaults have these experiments, and many are dark and absolutely really horrific. Nice. Seems like in Vault 33, either...
It reminds, kind of reminds you of Diamond City in Fallout 4. How everything was like centered around in the stadium, and you had crops like this, like on the where the play field should be, the diamond and all that stuff. Like like there was stuff where those positions should be, and in this kind of, I mean, it's not the same, but it feels like it. Like it was made to resemble something that it isn't, so just for comfort of its residents.
It's a control vault with no experiment going on, or the experiment's not that bad because a lot of these inhabitants just seem to genuinely be enjoying what they're doing. Although that enjoyment is definitely short-lived.
Oh, wow.
Much later on in the trailer, we cut back to the same scene and absolute...
You've seen that new stadium where... like it's the round dome and it can project around and everything. And this looks like the inverse, like they're in a big dome and everything projects around them to give the sky that they want and everything. That's pretty cool.
Chaos.
It's terrifying
Lucy's
right
dad
now.
Looks quite distressed, and it seems likely that this was a wedding of some kind. We see someone running out in a white dress, and many of the vault dwellers now dead or unconscious. In the last trailer, we saw several shots of vault dwellers going crazy, and I have to imagine...
This also reminds me of Vault 4, the vault where you go in and it's the perfectly... Is it Fallout 4? Yes, Fallout 4, where you go to the vault and it's perfectly fine, and they trade with the outside world, and you have to help the little boy with the mole rat disease and everything. And that guy reminds me of the one dude in the vault that's cheating on his wife. With the one upstairs or somewhere, I forget. If things go badly like that, it's just like he reminds me of the dude from Fallout 4.
Imagine that is what's occurring here. We're seeing the aftermath of this destruction and battle. Although what actually caused this chaos is still totally unknown. Perhaps that's the real vault experiment. And even this jukebox off to the side seems to be the same jukebox that ends up getting splattered. We then cut to this outside panning shot. We've seen this in other trailers, but it's a pretty important one. This is Santa Monica Pier in California. And very notably, we could see the entrance to Vault 33 right off to the side here. But what to me was easily one of the most interesting of the shots shared in this new trailer is this one of the Shady Sands Public Library, and very notably a giant crater right next to it. Shady Sands is a huge location in both Fallout 1 and 2. In Fallout 1...
Yeah, because this is in California, so you get some, you're getting some West Coast lore, and hold on, let's see. Hold on. Somebody just sent me a text. Which program? I figured I would be getting a lot of texts from work. Okay. Yeah, so we get we'll be getting. Oh yeah, no, I was looking up Fallout 1 and 2. First game was up to the West Coast. I mean, actually, 2161. Okay. 8 years after there's that Fallout, so or after your Fallout 3 takes. Oh, that's hard to read. So this is like, it says it's 200 years after the war. So I think this is probably set like I don't know, is this set after Fallout? Is the series set before or after Fallout 1 and 2? Here's after is the TV. Sorry, I'm sorry. I'm trying to. Okay, Fallout Game expands on me with the first game. Series takes place after the events of the Fallout video games. Oh, so this is way after all the games take place. So this is. Oh yeah, so there probably would be some vaults that were left underground that never opened because they were control vaults. Or vaults meant to see how long that they could stay in isolation. Okay, let's continue.
And it's really the first major settlement you go to after you leave the vault for the first time. But perhaps more relevant to the TV show, this grew into a full-on NCR town for Fallout 2, and it was the NCR's main city in Fallout 2. So is this shot suggesting that one of the NCR's main towns is now a giant crater, or is this just a crater that happens to be near Shady Sands? The last time we see the NCR in the video game, they have a major presence in California, but by the time of the show, we're barely seeing them, only just one battle scene that we'll talk about a little bit later. But at the very least, it looks like we're going to be getting an explanation on whatever happened. We get our first proper look at Lucy, a seemingly innocent Vault 33 dweller that is thrust into the waste for an apparent rescue mission. At least that's what we've heard from past interviews. And from what we've seen thus far, it really seems like a lot of this story is going to be explained from her perspective. She's that Vault dweller going into the Wasteland for the first time, basically what we do in many of the games. So it's very likely we'll be seeing the Wasteland through her eyes and interpreting many of the events based off how she interprets them.
So this lady, she's like, I thought all you dipshits were dead. So it gives you kind of a clue on, so if this is so far after all the video games, they would have heard the stories and, figured, yeah, I guess I thought all the Vault Dwellers were dead, because everything that had happened already. So this is pretty interesting.
In this voiceover, she mentions coming to the surface to restart civilization, suggesting that she is fully bought into those rose-tinted glass vault ideals. But then we cut to a later shot of Lucy fully out of the vault and walking into a shop. And this exchange with the shopkeeper is really interesting. The shopkeeper is both shocked to be seeing a vault dweller, but also immediately doesn't like Lucy and vault dwellers in general. So in the Fallout TV show, vault dwellers will not only be a rarity, but the broader world has opinions and perceptions on them. That's one of those things we've only seen a little bit of in the game.
So, what if the opinion is like, fuck, every time we see a goddamn fucking vault dweller, some really fucked up shit happens in the Wasteland and we all gotta fucking deal with it? That would be interesting.
And it looks like they'll be exploring it a bit more in the TV show. And around this shop, there are a lot of really cool props. We can see what almost looks like a Cazador wing sitting right here next to some stim packs and a bobblehead, but also several familiar weapons on this wall, a plasma pistol, lever action rifle, machete, and some other stuff I can't really make out. Overall in this trailer, there are quite a few panning shots of Lucy just exploring around. This honestly looks pretty aimless and like she wasn't prepared to see all of this or doesn't.
Oh shit.
Have a destination in mind. We hear this character inside the vault trying to warn her before leaving, and overall it seems like they're really painting a picture of this naive vault dweller going out into the wasteland. Very likely.
So I want to know how so that if like a lot of like the games happened like 200 years after the war. So if this is set up, hold on. So it says that the Fallout video game spans 185 years, with the first chronological game taking place in 2102 and the last in 2287. Amazon Prime's Fallout TV series takes place after the events of all the Fallout video games in 2296, expanding the timeline even further. So Fallout 4, I think, is the one that takes place furthest in the timeline, if I'm not mistaken. I could be, but I think yes, Fallout 4 takes place last in the timeline. 2287 was Fallout 4, and this is 2296, 87. So, 9 years after Fallout 4 takes place. And if you, depending on who you sided with, the Brotherhood would be fucking nearly, Maxon's Brotherhood would be dead, and along with it. And it makes sense because the Pridwin was lost, that they would commission its sister to take its place. It makes sense that the NCR is in pieces, or not the same as it was when it was, let's see, what was NCR and Fallout 4? Gosh, was there an NCR in Fallout 4? No, because that's New California. Of course they wouldn't be fucking involved with Fallout 4. Nor would they have been in Fallout 3. Would they? I don't think so. No. So, yeah, so NCR, like, oh wow, because we don't see a lot from the West Coast after Fallout New Vegas, I believe, and the NCR was struggling with its battle with the Legion in Fallout New Vegas, and depending on whether you sided with the Legion or House or Mr. What's his name? Mr. Yes Man, or with the NCR, or if you sided with yourself, something would have happened with that, and the NCR well, if they took the dam, then that would explain why there are still people, and there's it still looks like I don't know. This is on the California coast, so water wouldn't be entirely difficult. I don't know. It'd be interesting to see West Coast lore. This is really cool because we've seen a lot of the East Coast.
Trying to show her evolution into a proper Wastelander over the course of the story, which of course is a parallel to what...
That's really nice because that reminds me of Fallout 4 too, with the where you can see the jagged spires of skyscrapers in the distance, and you can go in and climb them and cross to other ones through wasted remains of things that fell through them and landed between them. You've got some kind of rickety ass fucking bridge made out of a train car or some kind of steel beam that fell between them or something. Yeah.
We experience as we go through the games. But then perhaps one of the most revealing shots for the overarching story, we then cut to Lucy holding a head. Not entirely sure
really
whose
cool
head
too.
this is or why Lucy is carrying it, but it looks relatively early. We still see Lucy in her vault getup and she's on her own. We know that the three main
That's a really fucking nice poster. And dog meat looks really cool. They all look really, really cool. This is a proper Fallout, hopefully.
protagonists do come together at some point, but that hasn't happened yet. In the last trailer, we see Lucy getting scared of tumbleweeds, but now we see her comfortable carrying a severed head. It seems like quite the extreme jump, and I imagine we're going to see Lucy get a real raw treatment from the Wasteland. The predominant speculation online right now is this is the Red Man's head, otherwise known as Wilzig.
I bet you he was a cannibal.
It's the character from the last trailer that had the red glowing light on their face that showed up with the dog. And he pops up in this trailer a couple of times as well, later in Philly,
like
but
Rad
most notably
Roach
we also get a quick shot of him injecting something into his neck/head. This is where a lot of the speculation is stemming from. It seems likely that...
Yeah, and there's a thing here on the side of his head to maybe put a bottle in.
whatever this is being injected, we actually get a closer up shot of whatever it is in the Japanese version of the trailer, but whatever that is the important thing in why Lucy's carrying around a head. And she may be doing this for a while. Later on in this trailer, we can see Lucy has a bag with her. What a lot of you have noticed and actually sent to me is in many of the pieces of character art around Lucy, the same bag can be seen with some blood on it. It does kind of look like a bag that would fit a head, so perhaps for a decent chunk of the series, Lucy's carrying around a head in this bag. And this all could tie together in an interesting way. Later on, we see Lucy finds a bottle of some kind of poison that reads Vault-Tec Plan something, it almost looks like Vault-Tec Plan B, named Econo Savings Pack, and you can't...
Vault-Tec Plan... maybe Plan B, Econo Savings Pack. Contents, single dose. Oh, wow. So maybe if there was too many people, it was a way to fucking, to reduce the population.
Make out the rest of the word. This scene makes me think that perhaps one of the plot lines is uncovering some of the cruel experimentation that goes on. We saw this guy with one eye, and I just assume this is some kind of Vault-Tec experiment, and Lucy seems like the perfect character to uncover some of the darkness of Vault-Tec. From this trailer, it really seems like Lucy believes in the core ideals of Vault-Tec, so her gradually uncovering that in reality they're a very messed up organization would be a pretty interesting plot point for the show. I imagine this bottle of poison is likely going to be connected to one of those experiments, and it's why she's having this crude reaction. We don't know much about who Wilzig is or isn't, but here it definitely looks like he's wearing a lab coat, but maybe he is a scientist related to all of this somehow. Hollywood Boulevard's that iconic street with the Walk of Fame stars, so seeing this flooded out is meant to reflect just how far gone society is at this point. This is the scene where Lucy finally has the bag, but also very notably she walks up with her hand on her weapon, this likely reflecting some of the very quick character growth she has had to go through. And this seems confirmed in the next scene scene as we do see her
nice
injured
shot.
on her arm. We then immediately cut to the characters finally interacting as we see the ghoul putting Lucy at gunpoint. The ghoul's wielding a new weapon for the Fallout franchise here with the MTS-255. This is a revolver shotgun, and funny enough, it's actually a very popular mod already for Fallout 4. And a pretty interesting choice for the ghoul as this is a communist weapon. The MTS-255 was developed by Russia in real life. The ghoul seems to reek of Americana, especially as he was Cooper Howard in a past life, so perhaps him using a Russian shotgun is a clue at something, or perhaps I'm just reading way too deeply into this. We could also see he has a variety of shell types at his disposal, and we'll get to see him use a couple of these in a moment. Lucy's notably more injured here. Her vault suit is torn and her arm is clearly hurt, and I think this is a clue that this is one of the later scenes we've seen of the show. If you look, many of the times we see Lucy, her vault suit is not damaged. All of these scenes in Philly, as well as many others, have her arm totally fine. And in the Japanese version of the trailer, there's some extra scenes that may fit in around all of this. We can see Lucy is on the run with her hands bound and even missing a shoe. In the next shot, someone lassos her, and I suspect this is the ghoul, because of course he used to play in westerns, so he probably knows how to use a lasso. We then get to a later scene where Lucy's barely wearing her vault suit anymore, and she mentions how everyone she's encountered this week has tried to kill her. It really does seem to suggest that a big part of the show, at least early on, is going to be us seeing Lucy go through it. If this trailer is anything to go off of, she's getting the majority of the screen time, and a lot of bad stuff seems to be happening to her, such as in the Kitty Playland. Lucy comes up against a very accurate looking Mr. Handy, who intends to harvest her organs and hits her with a syringer shot. There are
So the Mr. Handy trying to harvest your organs has happened surprising number of times in the Wasteland. They're notoriously shoddy with their design. They're the medical ones always want to fucking cut something off or inject you with something or experiment on you with something, or don't think you can feel pain or anything like that. Like it gets real creepy. And that's just the ones that are off the bat crazy. Some of them won't turn until you do a specific thing. Like in Fallout 4, when you come to the Galleria and you and there's something that you do that triggers them and they all go into kill mode. It's pretty funny though when it happens. It's scary as hell, but it's pretty funny when it happens. And then you got to fight the supervisor or whatever. It's crazy.
A ton of really cool details in this scene though. The Mr. Handy, of course, looks amazing, but a lot of these medical supplies off to the side,
hey, we find in every medical office in all the Wasteland in every game,
they're also spot on. On the shelf we can see antibiotics, Rad-X, and maybe even some buff out. And Lucy has her own set of new injuries here. She's covered in blood and her finger is now blue. It looks like circulation was cut off, or maybe she has a serious cut there. And here again she is missing a shoe, which honestly seems absolutely disastrous in the...
Okay, so this is like before she gets lassoed or after or something, because she's missing her shoe in that when she got lassoed too, right?
A Wasteland, and more's to come because at this point she doesn't even have her arm injury yet. And things get even worse here as this Mr. Handy does seem to get pretty close to operating on Lucy. I do wonder what ends up saving her. We get a few more shots from inside the vault, and once again let me just highlight how insanely accurate this hallway is to Fallout 4. Like it is a near perfect recreation. But we have this image of the pregnant woman and Lucy wrenching around, but it almost looks like this is fake. Like they're doing a photo op as opposed to actually being on maintenance duty. What is the pregnant woman even using the wrench on? It doesn't look like it would fit on anything even remotely near her. But what many of you may not realize is you probably already know this woman. This is the same lady who gets the fork in her eye and is blasting people away with her SMG. We learned in a past interview that this guy's Lucy's brother. I imagine this scene's right before she exits the vault, and it seems like she's exiting the vault under duress to some degree. In other shots, we've seen other people come up and someone's even laying on the ground as she leaves, but her brother does seem to stay behind. It almost looks like Lucy's comforting her brother as she grabs his head here. I wouldn't be shocked if we get some Wasteland adventures from Lucy, but periodically are cutting back to her brother's perspective inside the vault to see whatever's going on there. But then finally we get a look at the third major protagonist with Maximus, played by Aaron Moten. Maximus is a part of the Brotherhood of Steel, and they are looking pretty healthy here.
They look very much like they did in Fallout 4's Brotherhood. Like maybe some of the things are changed, but they very much look like the Fallout 4 Brotherhood that came with the airship.
Big unknowns in the Fallout TV show, like I mentioned before, is...
In fact, this might be why... Okay.
What actually happened with the Brotherhood? The last we see, they're at war with the NCR, and the Brotherhood are largely hiding and forced underground. Clearly here, they aren't hiding any longer. One of the interesting parts about this scene is what the Brotherhood are wearing. It looks like many of them are sporting holotags, just like what we have in the game. And as we do cut to the power armor shot, we can see both the power armor and assault rifle are perfectly accurate to the video game. It's honestly insane how close this all is. Which is what makes it a bit more interesting that basically none of these Brotherhood outfits are accurate to the game. Some, like Maximus's outfit here, do share a similar DNA, but they're clearly quite different. We know the Brotherhood of Steel in the TV show will have this new airship known as the Casawanan, but of course looks almost identical to the Prydwen, but we don't really know how or why it came to be. But with all this in mind and how accurate some parts of the show are, but then we clearly see the Brotherhood here having a bit of a different style, I have to wonder if this was just a deliberate choice to have the Brotherhood of Steel here have a bit of their own identity, and perhaps some of that is distinct looking clothing. I mean, if anything, this dude's outfit looks far more comparable to an Enclave officer uniform we've seen from past games as opposed to anything the Brotherhood used. Based on the timing and sequence of these scenes, it seems like this is a flashback where we see a young Maximus interacting with a Brotherhood knight, perhaps for the first time. This cut is in the exact same location as the scar on Maximus's face, and it almost looks like Maximus here is in a vertibird. We hear how he joined the Brotherhood of Steel to hurt the people who hurt him, and based off the number of scars he has, it definitely seems like he's been through it as well. But as we cut to him in his own suit of armor, he looks cold and like he's ready to deliver vengeance. Through all of the marketing material, we have seen this scratch on the power armor that Maximus is wearing. It's likely a device used by the show to identify which of the Brotherhood Knights are Maximus when they have power armor on, and we see this power armor helmet open up.
Yeah, that's a nice detail too. You always wonder if it's like, you know, you assume, well, I guess it could be both too. You know, you take your helmet off to do things like that, but it also makes sense to just, you know, be able to lift the visor up like helmets like in the old days where you have the visor that would come up. It's a pretty cool detail. I like it.
Iron Man style. Of course, this isn't a thing in the games. In the games, they just take their helmet off, but honestly, I think this makes a lot of sense. From a lore perspective, being able to use power armor and actually eat things is important. Running further, from a TV show perspective, being able to actually film an actor's face easily without them having to remove their entire helmet just makes a ton of sense. But one of the other big questions I have around the Fallout TV show is what on earth is going on with Dogmeat, or just this dog? As of right now, I'm not entirely sure the dog's name even is Dogmeat. The first time we see the dog, he's around Wilzig. Lucy's right across from them, and it seems like Dogmeat's taking out a radroach. But now we find him partnering up with the ghoul, and it appears like this is where he ends up staying, because he does appear in the character art with the ghoul. So are there...
And, okay, so this does answer a couple of questions. So there's the Mr. Handy, so we can infer that Mr. Handy that was going to kill Lucy was taken out by the cowboy, and it would explain why she had no shoe when she was on the table. But whether it happens before or after she gets lassoed is still to be seen.
Multiple dogs here? Did this dog change teams? Off to the side, it looks like we do have Slocum's Joe, which is another cool little detail. We then cut to what appears to be more footage in Philly. This is that town that we get a pretty extensive look at in the last trailer. We can see Wilzig, the shopkeeper, and Lucy all together, and seemingly in a standoff with the ghoul. It's not really clear.
And Wilzig has his fucking foot blown off, so he's probably not going to survive this.
What this little bottle that the ghoul is holding is. At first glance, it almost looked like a partially used Rad-X, but that wouldn't make sense because he's a ghoul, he's already immune to radiation. But from the looks of things, these parties are at...
Yeah, so the shopkeep is on the ground, she might be hurt. Dogmeat's definitely hurt. Wilzig's got his fucking foot blown off. She's got a some type of weapon. And he's just like, yeah, what are you going to do? And those are seat cushions.
at odds. Even before combat breaks out, everyone in Philly is already staring at the ghoul, who then absolutely massacres a passerby.
So he's using a shotgun as a 6-gun. Like, it's, yeah, of course. He's like, I mean, he's literally drawing a shotgun from the hip. This isn't a duel, son. You're gonna die today.
Creates a rather large hole in that person with whatever type of ammo he is using, perhaps some kind of explosive ammo based off some of those unique slugs he had on his bandolier. And if some of those shots from the previous trailer didn't make it clear enough, it very much so seems like the ghoul can handle himself. It appears he takes out most of the town in this one scene, and here we can see he has even incapacitated the shopkeeper as well as Wilzig. In fact, it looks like Wilzig has lost his foot entirely in the conflict. Lucy ends up shooting the ghoul, who is totally unaffected by her syringer round. We've seen Lucy's weapon in the past, and it too is a new addition to Fallout. The ghoul has this cute line about drugs not really impacting him, and I'm curious as to why. Seemingly this should work, but perhaps there is some deeper lore or story here. We have heard how the ghoul's unusual appearance, even for a ghoul, will be explained, and perhaps this is all connected. Maybe he is some kind of special ghoul, and that's why this syringer round also does nothing. And I also suspect that's where this
No, I suspect he likes his chemical adulterants.
Special juice comes into play. He's toying with it here, but in later scenes we can see him really salivating over whatever it is.
He's crying because it's so good.
Just consumed from this little bottle. Perhaps this is just enhancing his abilities in some way, or maybe it's doing
Oh, this is Hancock, just in cowboy form instead of revolutionary form.
A bit more. I think there is an interesting commentary on both of these characters going on here, though, with what weapons they're using. Lucy is this idealistic vault dweller who's firing syringer rounds. And while, yeah, you can have poisonous syringer rounds, they also can just be used to knock out individuals instead of killing them outright. Conversely, the battle-hardened ghoul, who lost his family, uses this sawed-off shotgun with rounds that are literally blowing holes in people. Considering they're two very prominent characters and using two completely new weapons for the show, I have a feeling that this is all actually meaning something. But none of this may matter, because I may end up boycotting the Fallout TV show anyway, because if you look, you could see a very not okay looking dog. I presume this is the ghoul's dog, and if somebody attacked it, I totally understand why he massacred the entire town. Perhaps the Fallout TV show is really just John Wick post-apocalyptic version. It does look like the dog's ears twitching here, so maybe the dog is still alive. But I'm going to need some answers ASAP from Prime Video, because this is just not okay. Although there actually is some hope a bit later in the trailer. We'll return to the dog, don't worry. We then cut to a scene with Maximus charging the ghoul in a set of scratched up power armor right in the center of Philly. This seems to suggest that all three of the characters are going to be in Philly at some point, but then there's also going to be later points where they'll meet up again. So seemingly our three main protagonists interact several times before actually joining up. Although directly after Philly, we do see a bunch of scenes of Lucy.
I wonder if that's the world's strongest man in that power armor to make it look like there's like a suit of armor and a dude wearing the suit of armor, like inside the suit of armor.
And Maximus teaming up, although Maximus no longer has his power armor. Later on in the trailer, we have this panning shot of someone in power armor, probably Maximus, reacting to this creature. It very much so looks like it's going to be a Fallout gulper, but the fingers in the mouth and the strands in the back of the head are new, so regardless of wherever this creature is, it looks awesome and terrifying. And this flooded area definitely looks pretty similar to the Hollywood Boulevard area we saw earlier with Lucy and the ghoul. Immediately after the power armor shot, it cuts to Lucy and the dog on the side, and assuming dog meat is really with the ghoul at this point, this could mean we're seeing one of the first scenes where all three of the main characters are actually together in this flooded area. But also interestingly, it seems like Lucy is going to be traveling with just the ghoul and just Maximus at various points. We see her and the ghoul going into a really well done super duper mart, but then at another point we see her with Maximus and really several scenes with Maximus and Lucy together.
See, isn't that the scout armor, or whatever? Like, you know, when you're, or is that's the initiates, or no, that's the scout armor, isn't it? Yeah, when you're not in your power armor, because it looks like it has rigging for when you get into the power armor or some shit like that.
It really seems like Lucy is going to be the most malleable of the group, just going into the Wasteland for the first time, so perhaps both the Ghoul and Maximus will try and apply their own ideologies onto her. This shot is also the hope, for me at least, that Dogmeat is in fact alive. Here we see Lucy with her arm injured again, so that does seem to confirm that this is after the Philly fight, because her arm isn't injured in that scene. So unless this is another dog, there is definitely a dog later on in the show, so hopefully Dogmeat lives. Like I've been mentioning this whole time, we do get quite a few scenes of Maximus and Lucy that really make it seem like they are bonding on their Wasteland.
I like how the rad roaches look on it. It's a small detail, but I like it.
And travels. Maximus seemingly loses power armor at some point.
I like how everything looks. I like how the settings look. You know, it's nice. This reminds you again of like Fallout 4's look, where things are clean, but still destroyed.
And we do get this very game-accurate Brotherhood uniform that he's wearing. But one of my favorite details thus far that comes from this is Lucy upgrades her armor to an armored vault suit from a regular one. This likely being a reflection of her character's growth, but just a really cool detail. There weren't any armored vault suits in Fallout 4, but in previous Fallout games you did have those as an option. And even her weapons change, as Lucy's now sporting a 10mm pistol, which also looks amazing, but is considerably more lethal than a syringer. In the background of this shot, you can see the deactivated power armor, and then we have what is easily one of the coolest shots from the trailer with the Battle of the Griffith Observatory. This is a real-life location just outside of LA, and it seems like here the Brotherhood of Steel are moving in via Vertibird to an NCR base at the Griffith.
And Griffith Observatory, I think, is also an important plot point in Wasteland as well.
Observatory. So finally, we have official confirmation that yes, the
Wasteland
NCR
2,
are in fact in the Fallout TV show, although it definitely looks like they have lost some power. We just haven't seen all of them in this show, and even when we do see them, they look strong, but not quite the same height they were at the times of New Vegas. Power armor in the TV show will be appropriately strong. It's tanking a ton of automatic fire.
Oh wow, yeah, there's the NCR flag and everything.
From this SMG at point blank range. And the NCR here are using quite a few World War II era weapons. It looks like this is a Sten, similar to what we saw in some of the previous vault scenes. This looks like an STG-44. Here it looks like we have a grease gun, but perhaps most exciting from the scene, it also looks like we have an NCR Ranger off to the side. It is a bit hard to make out, but I'm pretty sure this character is wearing a red visor and a full suit of NCR Ranger armor. There's also a different shot of the same scene in the Japanese trailer and shows off some more Brotherhood knights with flags, and finally somebody actually using the assault rifle in power armor. One of the pretty interesting parts about this show is most of the time we see somebody in power armor, they're fighting with their hands. They're not actually using a weapon for some reason. Of course, this is just based off a couple of minutes from a couple of trailers, but it is interesting. And the NCR runout scenes also have a lot of cool game accurate props. This laser pistol is spot on, but also some very accurate combat armor, even down to this character only wearing a partial set of combat armor, just like,
and some armor probably pilfered from a museum.
Many NPCs in the game.
Or made.
Do. We get a look at the Ghoul reminiscing about his old self as a Western action star, but also some nice Halloween decorations in the background. In Fallout, the bombs dropped on October 27th, so many houses and stores have Halloween decorations out. But there's also going to be some pre-war content. We get a look at the day the bombs dropped in California. This looks like a nice backyard somewhere. It looks like it's overlooking LA. We can see Cooper Howard running around in an outfit that seems...
And it's nice, well, it's not nice, but, like in Fallout 4, when you get like the pre-war scene of the bombs dropping on Boston, it's you know, it's always cool to see pre-war stuff happen because it's still lore.
To be matching the outfit worn by his daughter. Very interestingly, this outfit is also in the Vault Tech color scheme. Considering Cooper Howard was a movie star, I have to imagine that this house is his. Towards the end of the trailer, we get quite a few shots from within the vault, and although these are kind of hard to place in the broader picture, they definitely are telling. We see Maximus aggressively walking through the vault, our fork-eye pregnant lady making eyes with Lucy's brother, a cake, which is probably just a part of the wedding, but then something exploding as bomb visuals go off on the big projector screen in the background. There isn't really a ton to break down from some of these scenes, but the larger takeaway I have is that we're going to be getting a healthy amount of in-vault content. It definitely looks like even after Lucy leaves, will be cutting back to the vault for updates on whatever's going on there. And one of the things to get me most excited here is it looks like we're going to have some pre-war stuff exploring Cooper Howard a bit more and likely what he lost as a part of the bombs dropping. It very much so looks like this is his wife and they are in a vault, and I imagine the flashbacks will be a plot device to explain why he is so brutal now. We're going to see the terrible tragedy he went through and then get to see the reality of the new person that came out on the other side. Overall, I thought this new trailer was absolutely phenomenal. If you feel like there's anything I missed, let me know in the comments down below. But at the end of the day, we don't have long to wait now. The Fallout TV show releases in just a little over 1 month, and if you want to keep up to date with everything that's going on, make sure to get subscribed. But also check out...
check out Juicehead stuff. Like, he always, like, keeps you in the loop on Fallout stuff. And Bethesda stuff in general, but definitely Fallout stuff. Thank you very much, guys. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you're ready for the TV show. We'll be looking at some more stuff Fallout related in the lead up. Not a whole lot, but we will. Maybe I can find some more stuff online or on YouTube. Some more fan films for you guys to enjoy. But that's it for this one. Let me know down what you thought down in the comments. Like, subscribe, and share, and I'll see you in the next one. All right. I'm going to go stretch my legs real quick, smoke a cigarette. I shall return.
Yeah, we kind of knew aliens were real all along.
Yeah. When we come back. Let's see. All right. When we return, we'll be looking at an indigenous perspective on the existence of aliens. Yeah, I'm very interested. And there's a lot of perspectives from around the world, religious and practical. So it's always nice to see one of these perspectives. I'll be back. Enjoy the music. And, yep. I'll be back in 10. Probably less than that, but just so we have, something for people to see. Right. I'm gonna go to the bathroom real quick. Still made it back within time. I like that. All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you're having a decent evening. We're getting ready to jump into some alien stuff, but from a different perspective. Now, cultures all over the world have, reported alien sightings. Like, there's almost all of them. But it's nice when you get a perspective that you don't often hear from. So tonight, we're going to do just that. Let me go ahead and make some preparations before we get into some esoteric stuff. I do want to keep this though. Just keep that right there. This back up here. I changed my mind. I'm going to use the bigger. It was a pretty good song too. Rolling with the flow. I like that philosophy. I like to get things prepared beforehand because once I start watching something, I don't want to disrespect the creator. You know, I want to give it as much attention as I possibly can, and that's with me battling my wandering mind because you know sometimes you know I gotta force myself to pay attention. Like, not because it's boring or anything, but I'm one of those people that likes to do multiple things at once. You know, so normally I would be like watching something and then I'd think about something and then I'd go and like queue up something like for after I'm done watching what I'm watching right now. So I want to make sure I have everything done so when I go to watch this, it gets my undivided attention and I can make commentary and, you know, just give it its proper due. Throw this mat in the wash. Alright. So, preparations are about complete. Hope everybody has what they need. Got your snacks, got your smoke, got your drinks. We're about to talk some aliens. Yem is my guardian, is my grinder guardian. So my weed grinder guardian. Miss Ashanti gave me this little guy, and he sits on top of my grinder. So he's my grinder guardian. Yem air freshener is what it used to be. So. Little totems, I guess. All right, guys. So, if you're ready, I am ready. Let's boogie. You know the drill. Welcome back to the Gnome Show, everyone. I am Josh, your humble host, and it is my duty, nay, my pleasure, to trawl the briny depths of YouTube so that I may bring you the shinies. I cover short films of varying genres, video games, analog horror and sci-fi, and anything else that I think is groovy. I hope that you'll enjoy tonight's offering. Content for the blood god. I mean, on with the show. And for tonight's show, I do have a very nice shiny for you. We have looked at Shanclan Shadow Productions before, when they graciously discussed their views on skinwalkers, and like things from their point of view, because Western media has all their own things and what they get from movies and secondhand information and bastardized legends or what have you, and it's just refreshing to get another point of view. And tonight we're going to get another point of view on aliens, from an indigenous point of view. So without further ado, let's boogie.
Yeah, we kind of knew aliens were real all along.
That's from a movie. It's always that. It's always that.
I thought I was hitting the brake.
Aliens!
No, we don't have to go through insurance, do we?
Oh, not everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Shanclan Shadow Productions, and I just want to say Happy New Year to you all. This is going to be the first episode of 2024, so I'm super excited about this one. So us indigenous people for a very, very long time have really known about extraterrestrial beings, aliens, or sky people, or I don't know, there's so many different names out there for them and all that for this, but yeah, we've kind of known about this stuff for a good while now, and there's a lot of teachings and a lot of stories about beings that come from the sky, beings that come from the Star Nation as well. And now it really depends on which tribe you come from, on how the stories are told when it comes to extraterrestrial beings or sky people, or beings of the Star Nation. And when it comes to aliens, it really goes hand in hand with a lot of spirituality stuff. In our teachings and in our ways, aliens and extraterrestrial beings are, in a sense, spiritual beings that come down from the heavens to be able to grant us knowledge or teachings. And one really cool story that I always like to tell when it comes to aliens is one that was told from my great-grandmother's perspective. This one right here is really cool because my great-grandmother, she was somebody that never went to school. She grew up in the time and the age of when boarding schools was a big thing, and they would go and kind of round up people and take them over to boarding schools and all that. But her father wanted to keep her home to be able to learn the traditional ways. She never learned to speak English, so he ended up hiding her in the canyons whenever the BIA or anybody else would kind of come around to collect the kids to take them to residential schools.
Fuck, that's
now
hardcore.
What's really interesting is the lifestyle that my great-grandmother had. There was no electricity, there's no running water, so they didn't have outside influences as far as for when it came to aliens in their time and their day. So with this story, that just kind of makes this story really even pop a little bit more for me. So her story was one night she woke up and then she was walking around the house, and she looked out the window one night, and how she describes it in Navajo is there was a dish that came down from the sky and went into the canyons, and she asked her father, she was just like, what is that? What's that over there? And her father replied, he said, those are the sky people, those are the star people. He says that we have our teachings and our ceremonies, but whenever they come down like that, you don't mess with them. You let them do what they're supposed to do, and they take off from there. So she was very, very kind of intrigued by this. So she went out the next day to that area where it was, and there was a burnt circle around in a specific spot, but inside of that burnt circle there was little tiny herbs that were kind of blossoming. They were blooming inside of that burnt circle. So he always told her that when they come down for medicines and herbs, and when they leave offerings like that, more herbs in replacement of the ones that they took, for them to grow strong and grow good and everything like that. So that right there was really interesting to be able to hear that from my great grandmother and her stories about that. And there's a lot of stories when it comes to the Star Nation and the Star People, how some tribes descend from those places, how they came onto this earth. And different tribes will have their origin stories of how they came to this world. But it's very interesting to be able to see, even here in the Phoenix area, there's some tribes over in South Mountain that would make petroglyphs on top of some rocks, and they would depict beings that would come from the sky and go inside of the mountain, and how they would tell stories about the extraterrestrials would sing a song and the mountain would open up itself and they would go inside of there, and when they were done they would shoot back out and everything. So there have been a lot of extraterrestrial sightings around South Mountain. Pretty sure.
Yeah, so maybe like the, I mean, that is an interesting thing. That you would in old times, like, the aliens would come down and they'd see these probably to them, well, I don't know what they would see these people, and maybe they would be cognizant of the the natives of the planet, and maybe they did do these kinds of things where, like, what they took they would give back in some way or some fashion, or by natural order what they when they came and took they would leave byproduct, or like what their presence would be beneficial for, like, the environment around them. That's really fucking interesting. Maybe it's maybe that particular form of energy when, like they hover above the ground, or when they do investigations or something. That's just very interesting. That's cool.
You guys have seen like the Phoenix Lights videos, and especially with the U.S. government showing out and actually confirming that aliens are actually real. I'm pretty sure everybody out there already knew, like, yeah, we kind of knew, man, that there's something out there. And when it comes to these beings and everything, they are, in a sense, of the spiritual world, at least in the indigenous eyes. They are extraterrestrial beings that can go in and out whenever they please, and they're very, very powerful and very, very knowledgeable in their travels in the Star Nation and the Star World. Now, when it comes to Star People and everything, I can't generally say that all aliens are Star People. We do have different teachings about, like, specifically extraterrestrials are a branch of Star People or Star Nation, and there's so many different stories when it comes to that, but I don't think I'm able to really tell that. I guess I could tell you this little part where when it comes to the Star Nation and Star People, when humans pass on, at least in our tribe, you go into the Star World, you make that journey along the Milky Way to be able to relive your life, learn how to become a spirit after you pass away, to be able to go into the happy hunting grounds. So when it comes to that, the stars and everything have their own stories. And what's really interesting, I'll tell you this little story, is one of our sacred deities was placing up the stars in a very meticulous way. And kind of like how everybody has, like, Orion's belt and all these other astrological deities that form in the sky based off the star formations, we have ours too. They have their own different names and everything like that. But when this deity was placing the stars into the sky, they were placing it very meticulously. Then there's another being that came up while they were doing that, and it was Coyote. Coyote came up and asked, like, hey, can I go ahead and help you out with this? And the deity said, yeah, you can go ahead and help me out. So when they were placing it, Coyote got upset. He's like, this is taking too long. So all the stars that were placed onto a blanket, Coyote grabbed it and just threw it up into the sky, and they just mashed up everywhere in there. So that's like a little quick Coyote tale, how he's a trickster. Coyotes aren't all evil. He has his stories in the creation of this world and everything. So, but yeah, going back to extraterrestrials and aliens, some of my personal experience that I've had is crazy lights in the sky. I remember when I would have to say back in junior high, we lived kind of in a rural area, so the stars in the sky were kind of very bright. It's not like how you see in the city where it's like a lot of light pollution and pollution in the sky to where you can't really see the stars. But we're outside playing like Nerf gun war and everything, and we're just young kids. And we were playing, and all of a sudden we saw like a bright green light show up in the sky right above us, and we look, and then it shot off toward the west. And when it got toward the horizon, it stopped. And then it shot straight up into the sky really quick. And we were just like, Mom! We started freaking out and everything like that. So it's very, very interesting to kind of see that. And especially with the US government themselves having seen extraterrestrial beings or unknown phenomena, UFOs or UAPs, I guess they call it now, on their electrical devices, on the jets, on their sonars and radars and everything like that. It's honestly really interesting to see that. And when it comes to the star people and everything, there's a lot of crazy stories and theories in my noggin right here that they come down every so often to give us knowledge, to give us teachings about how to live and how to grow as far as a society and everything. And in my mind, in my theory, they're the ones that kind of help teach humanity a lot of different things. And if you guys have seen my live stream with my sisters earlier this new year, yes, I'll be posting some of those highlight clips on there on my channel as well. It's pretty interesting for me to think about this because there's a lot of stories about the Anunnaki, of gods and deities that came from the heavens, and they taught humans how to build and taught humans how to do all these different things. But then catastrophes happened and they ended up losing a lot of their knowledge and their teachings. So I would always think about these nations, I would always think about these civilizations, these empires that kind of ruled, and you would see like these hidden temples, hidden pyramids, hidden cities that were lost thousands and thousands of years ago, and there's no record of them. What's pretty crazy is I saw on TikTok not too long ago about a story of there was a pyramid that was found underneath the water near Cuba, and it used to have cities, a temple, and all these different things, but no one really knew where it came from. A lot of people are speculating that it's Atlantis, but you really think about it, this world has been here for countless number of years, and there's different civilizations that have lived on this earth in a certain time period. It always makes me wonder, like, what if there was another civilization that was like us, that it was at a certain point where we are right now as far as for technology, if not even greater than what we have now. And what if they were the ones that actually learned how to have spaceships to go into the next worlds and travel the galaxy like that and just haven't returned yet? Or think about it like this, is what if there was a civilization that went down a different path of using energy on this world? What if they went a more natural way instead of like digging into the ground, getting fossil fuels and all these different things to be able to produce energy? What if they went like, because there's some scientists out there that talk about evolutions of the humanity and how they have these different stages of where humanity could go as far as for advancing the world that we live in now. And there's this one part that's very interesting to me, is how they collect energy. Is they learn how to collect energy from, I guess we do that partially from solar and wind, and also ocean waves as well. They use dams and they use water reservoirs and everything. In those theories that they learn how to harness the energy of earthquakes, they learn to harness the energies of tsunamis, tornadoes, and all these different things that were considered catastrophes, but then they ended up learning how to be one with the earth and use those energies in itself. So in those old civilizations, what if they went down that path first instead of the path that we chose? What if they went down those worlds, and kind of like how we have technology here to be able to record all these different things that we have, if your camera dies, if your phone dies, if your computer dies, all this stuff is just plastic. Over time, this is all going to decay. It's all going to go away. And without the knowledge of learning how to power these things, you have no way to access all this knowledge. You have no way to access all these teachings. So say a world catastrophe were to happen, and say like an EMP or all these different things, the only thing that would be left would be the structures. And we're not really sure what would happen to the people, whether that be they took to the stars, or they just survived one way right here. But then it would, in a sense, send you back into the Stone Age. And I don't know, for a lot of you people out there, I don't know how to make this. I don't know how to make Wi-Fi. I don't know how to make computers or all these different things, motherboards or anything like that. So in a sense, a lot of people would be starting from the Stone Age period again to be able to learn how to gather resources, be able to learn how to build these things and start all over. So that makes me think, like, when we think about human history, we only go back a couple thousand years. But what was there before then? Were humans there before then? Were there other civilizations that were there before then? Before even all this other stuff that happened. So that's pretty interesting, and a thing that kind of happened that I think about sometimes. It keeps me up at night. I have to be honest, just kidding. But when it comes to like extraterrestrial beings and the Star Nation and star beings, this world was created a long time ago, and even back before even written history that we have. So it just leaves that open gap of when it was created to when we started recording things. What happened in between that time period? And did aliens or extraterrestrial beings have an influence on the humanity when it came to building empires and civilizations? But going back to it, indigenous people, yes, we do believe in aliens. We do have stories and sightings, and we have them recorded on petroglyphs too. We have pictures of what they look like, and it's pretty gnarly to think about it. But yeah, so do I think aliens will ever come back? Yes, but I honestly think, like, if I were an extraterrestrial being, if you were an extraterrestrial being and you were scouring the universe and the galaxies and everything for life and everything, you would have to look at the civilization itself. And would it be profitable for you to be able to trade with these people, to give them your technology and teachings and all that, and pretty much where their mindset's at? And I feel like, at least me in my opinion, I feel like we're getting closer to the point of where we're starting to awaken ourselves. We're starting to be more open-minded with a lot of things. And I have to thank technology for that, for opening up the avenues for people.
I think it might be because we're so if I were an alien and I were waiting for the right time to either strike or approach, it would depend on what I want. Like, so, like, if they've been visiting us for a long time and they haven't, like, you know, completely just like kept us from doing anything significant, then I would imagine that, especially now, since like we're in the first stages of being how you doing, new viewer? We're in the first stages of being a spacefaring society, you know, where we're looking up at the stars and not just like, you know, like being like, golly gee, one day. You know, we're making steps toward that future, especially with the advent of like drone technology in a meaningful way, like being able to send large craft into space that's either autonomous or autonomously controlled, so that you you need even more to make sure your craft are safe. But even more so, you can automate your trip into space. But really, in my opinion, we won't be a spacefaring race until we can build craft in space. So we don't necessarily have to get ourselves into space before we can go anywhere. So you can save like all that propellant for the actual trip and not just getting out of the atmosphere. But I would say aliens are waiting for us to be capable of spacefaring, like a species willing to look beyond its own selfish concerns. And I don't mean like an end-all war and like that, but like, we're to the point where we have a vision, that we want to explore, and we want to be serious about exploring. And especially if we're the only ones in our neighborhood for now, I mean, we might as well explore our neighborhood, like you would do when you were a child and you went out and explored your neighborhood on your bike, and, went to another neighborhood and maybe went on the golf course and saw where the woods were, and, found patches of land that were undeveloped and full of wonder. And there's animals and bugs and snakes and things that are gross, and bodies of water that you've never seen, or completely new phenomena that you've never seen before. That's what we do. So why not explore this vast neighborhood of ours? Really become masters of it, especially if we want to travel beyond. Although it would be nice if we could stop the burning on our own planet before we start terraforming the rest of the solar system. Although by the time I'm 70, I might be like, Mars doesn't sound like a bad place to die. How about it, Miss Ashante? How do you like Mars? Or maybe just the moon? I've heard they have great Wi-Fi on the moon. We can get that murder show you like so much. It'll never go out. We get the best view in the whole system. And, maybe not as cold. Mars is still coming along these days. It's just a small colony. Looks more like a small city than anything else. Maybe it's getting there, but it's not really that much right now. It's quite alone. They don't have much grass yet. All right, back to it.
We'll learn different customs, different ways, different mindsets, and different ways of thinking. And that's one reason why I started this channel, is to just get people thinking about different things, a different perspective on life, spirituality, and everything. So who knows, maybe soon, maybe this year, 2024, aliens will show up and all that. So I'm pretty sure whatever scenario we have, if they want.
Boyo, the day fucking aliens really show up, the day they really fucking make planet fall. There are going to be a lot of really fucking upset people. Like, really. Like, there's going to be a lot of upset people. And maybe not. Like, I don't know. Like, it's going to be fucking crazy.
Or I'm pretty sure we're screwed if they do, but we have movies to help us out with that. War of the Worlds, yes. Yes, we'll just get them sick and everything. So that's going to be it for this episode, you guys. Yes, indigenous people do believe in aliens, so if you guys were ever questioning that, yes, we do have stories about them. I don't know too many of them, but I'm on the journey to learn more from my elders as much as I can, and maybe I'll share some of those with you in the future.
Please do, sir.
But thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Check out my social medias at Sean Clen Shadow Productions, official Sean Clen SSP on Instagram. That's where pretty much I spend out most of my time for all the updates coming up in my channel. So again, Happy New Year, everybody. You all stay safe. Have a great year. And I'll see you in the next one. I'm going there.
Nice. I approve of the hat. All right. So that was the perspective of, and I think he said he was Navajo, but also indigenous. But that is his perspective on aliens. I didn't think there was any doubt whether indigenous peoples would believe in aliens. They've probably been recording them for longer than we have. Look up at the sky and just, oh yeah. I can leave them alone. Sound off in the comments what you think. I've been reading some of the other comments. Some of you are very strongly opinionated about it, and that's cool. Aliens is a pretty rousing subject to talk about. And many cultures have a very deep and profound connection to their land, their traditions, the way they communicate information across the generations, the way they communicate knowledge and impertinent facts about life, and teachings in a way that can be understood. They're very important, and everybody has different ways of doing that. So some of you, have I would say Western tradition, Western views on things. They're just like there's so many more viewpoints than yours, and just as valid. So remember that, guys. Tell me about your traditions and views on aliens. If you're from a non-Western culture, or hey, what's up, brother? Yeah, I don't think it's it's gonna be like that. And welcome, brother. How you doing tonight? I don't think. Well, I can't say that because I mean, it probably wouldn't be too spectacular. You would probably have like a landing craft or a delegation craft or something like that. Something that would be non-threatening. Something that wouldn't immediately be shot down by planetary defenses from many nations. But maybe, I mean, I really think it's like, okay, so it would be like JC coming back. You know what I'm saying? Like, it would absolutely fucking rock the foundations of the world. And I think it would be the same thing for aliens making planetfall. Whether it was like a non-threatening landing craft with a statesman in it, or a Saiyan, or one of the landing pods from Dragon Ball Z. Rest in peace, Kira Toriyama. We will miss you. Or a warship in orbit that you can see from the ground, Like, you know, like you don't see stars, you see a fucking warship. You know, like it would be super profound. Like I think it would change everything. You know what I'm saying? Like you would have like some affirmations of certain beliefs, and you would have the breaking of others. You know, like certain certainties would be stripped away. Views of like the center of things would be wiped clean. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you know, like when we figured out that we weren't the center of the universe or our solar system. You know, that we were just you know, orbiting the sun, and then, you know, like, you know, then there's a wider universe around it, like, you know, the smallness of it. You know, people would, you know, I think that's where the existential dread would really start to set in. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh my God, there's so much out here, and what is it? You know nothing, Jon Snow. You know what I'm saying? Like, our species knows nothing again. Welcome to the fucking Planetary Alliance, or the Universal Neighborhood Association. It would, you know, like that. The best outcome probably would be like a studying of each other's cultures. That would be the best outcome. Like, you would hope that's the way it would go, because there are certain theories out there that are absolutely terrifying, like the heat death of the universe. You know, like remember that? I don't. Do you remember that one we watched where it was like the last guy, or the last well of souls or whatever left in the universe, trying to or basically witnessing the death of the universe because the energy is fading. Like, you know, power, everything in the universe is fading, getting ready to just fizzle out and go dark completely until I guess the new universe starts with a bang because of the whatever thermodynamics or all, like, you know, whatever happens with the Big Bang. But yeah, like I would imagine, like, you would want to do something about maybe those eventualities, make a better go of things. I don't know. Or maybe we would just want to eat us, or we would end up going to war with them, or we would eat them. What if it turned out that they, you know, we were the more powerful species? You know, we just yanked their shit, said, haha, that was cool, next. That would be terrifying, but on point for humanity, I guess. So, that was exploring the existence of aliens, perspectives from indigenous teachings. Man, I am tired tonight. Like, subscribe, and share, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you enjoyed this one, and I will see you in the next one. All right. So, it's that is all I had for this evening. It's already 12 something. I did want to play some Fallout New Vegas, so I'm gonna queue that up and see if it's actually something I want to do tonight, or not. We've been live for like 2.5 hours already. Eric, have you seen the trailer for Fallout? Did you see it when on my stream, or did you see it already? Well, about the death of Akira Toriyama, or about aliens? You know, because like I would like to see TikTok and Instagram go to battle. Anyway, that would be interesting. that's good water. I need more. Let me turn the music back on. There we go. Oh, yeah, that's better. That Fallout TV show trailer looks fucking ridiculous. And Juice did a really good analysis on it. The alien memes. Oh yes. Yeah, it does look really good. Walter Goggins. He looks really good in it. Like, and he usually does good projects. Bro, I think I saw one episode of the Halo show and I was like, yeah, no. 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 I really want a Warhammer show. That would be really cool. What's his name? Guy that was Superman. He's supposed to be working on the Warhammer show. I need some good fucking like television in my life. I'm very excited for the Fallout show. It's my jam. I love the whole lore of it. Actually, let me see. Do I feel like I don't You know what? Actually, I still feel like watching some Fallout stuff. There's Have you ever heard of Fallout Revelation, Eric? Have you seen that fan film? There's a set of 3 episodes. No. Let's see. What's going? Twitter found out about Warhammer 40K. That sounds funny as fuck. Neuromancer is a great book. Okay, we can check that out then. And if you haven't seen it yet, Nuka Break is a there's actually 2 seasons of it, and that's a really good one too. And he's got new stuff coming, from what I hear. Yeah, this right here. That's something I would watch on my own. That's just straight lore. Maybe down the road we'll watch something like this. I really wish that old Peg was in Fallout 4. I really wish that there was a sea creature that you could like really fight. But yeah, besides the Mirelurk Queen. And the Red Death, or the Red Menace, I think it's the Red Death. the little joke creature that was in Far Harbor. I was really upset when I saw that. I know it was supposed to be a joke, but I was really upset. Yeah, okay. It did pop up. So, we'll watch that in a minute. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm going to put that in the queue. Okay. So, this, the only thing they ever made was this, set of I guess the whole thing is a pilot, but it's 3 episodes, and I've already seen them several times. It's one of the Fallout fan films that I found early on, and it's really, really well done. So, grab your smoke, grab your drink, grab your nicotine, whatever. I'm going to grab some water real quick. But let's see. 15, 30, 45 minutes this one is. And maybe we'll just watch the first episode tonight. And then we'll watch the next episode tomorrow night, because it's already 12:30. And it's been a really long day. But we'll see. But I'll be right back. I'm going to go get some water. Agua. Alright. Time for another piece of the brownie. Thank you, customer, for the brownie. All right. So. Sit back, relax. This is Mechanical Cake TV. Or hold on. I'm sorry. Stop myself right there. We got to do the YouTube thingamajig. Welcome back to the Gnome Show, everyone. I am Josh, your humble host, and it is my duty, nay, my pleasure, to trawl the briny depths of YouTube so that I may bring you the shinies. I cover short films of varying genres, video games, analog horror, and sci-fi, and anything else that I think is groovy. I hope that you'll enjoy tonight's offering. Content for the Blood God. On with the show. Tonight we have Mechanical Cake TV with their Episode 1, Fallout Revelation, Part 1. So, let's boogie.
Ella. A-Train. I miss you both. I hope you get this message. They're coming for me. And I probably won't make it out of this alive. The most important thing to me is that you know the truth. Said I was never the same after my last trip into the Wasteland.
That was a good shot. It very much like the real life shot looked like it's like a place that had been hit like by a hurricane or something like that. I really like that he looks like a real Wastelander. No vault suit or anything like that. Like he looks like a regular Wastelander. That looks so cool. Stim pack.
It is a positively spectacular day out there, if you can overlook the minor detail that 212 years ago this week, we annihilated the entire planet with radioactive fire, and we're still clawing at each other for the remaining scraps. Speaking of which, there's been another skirmish in New Reno, leaving...
So this is around Fallout 1.
Must take the A train to go to Sugar Hill way up in Harlem.
How you doing, new viewer? Nice to see you. We're watching Fallout Revelation, Part 1.
You'll find you at the quickest way to Harlem. Get on now, it's coming. Listen to those rails are coming.
No. Oh. Time to roll. Yeah, this shit was really well done. Like, you're gonna like this, man. Like, this is one of my favorites. Look at that cloud formation. It's a nice helmet too. Definitely excellent prop designers, man. that's fucking nice. Like, whoever, like, whether it's, I mean, it doesn't, I don't know if it's a 3D prop or not, but it looks really, really nice. And it definitely is the Fallout style of alien ship, too. With the dome in the front and, like, the alien dead in the, like, from being ejected out of the front of the craft, I think. Oh, man, that's just really cool. That's a nice location. After Effects lightning bolt, but that's still pretty cool. I think. Maybe it wasn't. I don't know. I don't know. That's a really nice spacecraft, though. This is before we, well, no, I guess, yeah, this would be, like, okay, like, Fallout New Vegas, Fallout 3, something like that. But the Zetans were still kind of mysterious and everything. Not like in Fallout 76 where you fight them motherfuckers. Like, en masse, like there's a whole army of them that come down. What is your pleasure? Angels to some, demons to others. Excellent editing. I wish I could do this.
I found something out there. If I told you what it is, you'd think I'm crazy.
Crazy pills. Sorry. I'm in a weird mood tonight.
The only way I can explain is that it showed me things. It showed me why the bombs were dropped. It showed me what we would have become.
Yeah, this is like before they established some, right. The box. You opened it, we came. They covered the Fallout 3 opening very, very well. Nice. I mean, it's broken, but you can fix it. You're in the vault.
It was your father's old one. He kept a lot of special music on it.
I bet you'll find some real pearls on that thing, kid. Your old man fancied himself quite the historian.
It doesn't work, but you could, you're good at tinkering like your dad was.
It's cool. Thanks, Mom. Can I take the hat off now?
For the record, you used to look forward to wearing that hat.
Hell yeah, we all used to look forward to certain things like that.
Okay, put it back on.
It just went so fast, all this, and now it's all gone. I wanted more for you. I just thought that by the time you grew up, things would be how they were way back then. I wanted you to play in the park and live in a neighborhood and... Your father.
Yeah, so she still remembers playing in or being in a real neighborhood, living with like before wartime. So like this is super early in the timeline.
Stop being so hard on yourself, okay?
They mentioned some ruckus going over in New Reno. So I believe that's Fallout 1, correct?
We're making it. Okay. Let's have some cake.
Or maybe she doesn't remember. Maybe she doesn't.
I know today's your birthday, Aldous. Not a day goes by I don't think of you and your mom. The last thing I ever wanted to do was to leave. But it would have been terribly dangerous for me. I asked an old NCR friend to dig up information about that thing I found. Word got out. They must know what it is.
They're a little bulky, but they're good suits.
We know you know where he is.
Fuck the Enclave.
And we know he was supposed to give you something.
Stay down! Back up. Keep your gun on her. Everybody else in the room. Put your hands, sit up. Sit up, buddy. Put your hands on your head. Turn around. Turn around.
I already told your friends. Never seen him before.
Bring him in.
My friend Killian and his family. They're running away somewhere. In an Enclave prison. If I hadn't left you and your mother, that would have been us.
He's definitely inquisitive. He'll make it out in the Wasteland.
Killian managed to get a message to me.
How you doing, viewer? Nice to see you. We're watching Fallout Revelation.
And that's when I started to learn about Waverum.
'Cause your feet's too big. Yes, your feet's too big. Can't stand you 'cause your feet's too big. Say I can't tolerate you, I really hate you 'cause your feet's too big. In fact, your pedal extremities are a bit obnoxious. Where did you get them from? Where did you get them?
Joseph, they're coming for all of us. Joseph, they're coming for all of us. You have to hide the thing. Find a safe place and mark it on your map. Make sure we can find it. God forbid something happens to you. Set up the radio. I'll be in contact with the location soon.
So, like, that's a synth. And that is some really nice implications. I mean, you know, this isn't canon or anything, but like for synths to be around in whatever time does this say? What year this is in? I just wonder, like, when this would probably, like, it's definitely Fallout 1, well, yeah, it's probably Fallout 1. And it's definitely West Coast. Well, no, Shady Sands, but New Reno. I don't know. It's interesting.
Find a safe place and mark it on your map.
But that's a synth. That's a synth. And also, at the very least, Gen 3. No, because Nick Valentine was Gen 2, wasn't he? Probably like a Gen or a combination, or like the link between Gen 2 and 3. Because you could see the machinery under, and she had the synthetic skin and everything, but she was definitely a synth, like, you know what I'm saying? So probably a lot like Nick Valentine. Which, I would have to do some research in the timeline. But Nick Valentine's an older model. It's just interesting. Welcome, new citizen. I love that. Safe room. Nice. Music is really good in this in this too. So that was episode 1 of Fallout Revelation. And it's about to be 1 o'clock in the morning. I'm very tired. So we're going to leave it with that. And I still got some dishes to do and shit and take the trash out. Yeah. But thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for joining me. I will be back on tomorrow, and I will be back on Sunday as well, live streaming. Saturday nights or Sundays are usually my long streams, and I have a lot more content. We'll watch the other 2 episodes to Fallout Revelation. And if you don't want to wait, you can always go to Mechanical Cake TV. Let me go ahead and I already have them subscribed, but I wasn't getting all notifications. But anyway, and you can go over to Mechanical Cake TV and watch the episodes for yourself. They're all available here. That's all. It looks like that's all these guys did, but they could have gone somewhere else to do their thing. They did say that they were getting a Kickstarter together at some point and all that kind of good stuff. So I don't know, but it is all here available for you. Comment down below. Let me know how you liked the episode. What you liked about it. Does it have you burning for more and salivating for the TV show coming in April? It has me. That's why I got the Fallout fever. I got the uranium fever. Yeah, guys. Like, subscribe, and share. Be safe, be happy, be healthy. I love you all. And I'll see you in the next one, guys.